Greetings from the Enterprise Project Management Office at the San Diego County Office of Education, and welcome to Project Management. We've created this video to help you get started. In this video, we'll cover 3 key areas. First, the big picture of project management. Second, our streamlined approach, including a walkthrough of a sample project. And third, our EPMO Toolkit with templates and samples that you can use. So, let's start with the big picture. We're often asked, what exactly makes a project a project? Consider 2 words, temporary and unique. According to Project Management Institute, or PMI, a project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. It has a defined beginning and end in time, and therefore defined scope and resources. And a project is unique in that it is not a routine operation. So when Bob runs a report on the last day of every month, that wouldn't be considered a project because it's simply a routine operation, part of Bob's job. But let's say that Bob's team needs a new way to do its monthly reporting, including a new report and a new reporting procedure. This is a project because it has a start and end date, and a new product would be created. Bob's project would need to be managed to deliver the on-time, on-budget results, learning, and integration that is desired. Thus, project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. Did you know that successful projects are the #1 driver of satisfaction with IT? Initially, when asked to rank the importance of IT services, over 21,000 respondents ranked projects low on the list. 10 out of a possible 12. Despite this low reported importance, of those organizations that were satisfied to fully satisfied with IT, the service that had the strongest correlation to this high satisfaction was projects. That came from IT's ability to plan, support, and execute initiatives that help the business achieve its strategic goals. The EPMO at SDCOE has created a standardized approach to project management that is easy to follow and easy to incorporate. The tools and process were drawn from PMI's A Guide to the Project Management Body of Knowledge, referred to as the PMBOK Guide. So let's look at our approach to project management. When we run a project, we take it through 4 phases: initiation, planning, execution, and closure. Notice monitoring and controlling occurs throughout. Initiation is when you're just starting out and exploring whether you will pursue a project. Planning is a critical part of the process. In our workflow, we typically are working on our project charter at the onset of planning, although it may begin during initiation. The project charter forms the backbone of a project. You use it to get clarity on what the project is and to document as much as you can before the work begins. Once you have the project charter authorized by your project sponsor, our process is to set up a place to store all of the files, define the work activities, set up monday.com, conduct a kickoff meeting, identify the stakeholders, and develop a communications plan. Your project hits execution when work begins by the project team. At this point, it is important to monitor the tasks. This comes in the form of using monday.com on a daily basis, as well as staying connected with your project team. You plan status meetings to get updates, identify issues and roadblocks, determine if there are any risks to your project. You write and send a status report to the steering committee and project team and anyone else you've determined who needs to receive them. And when appropriate, you ensure updates and information are provided to the stakeholders. Lots of things happen during the execution phase. The closure phase is an important one. We have a checklist to guide the process. Essentially, you do a lessons learned to find out what went well, what can be improved, and other items of note to help with our continuous improvement. Surveys help collect information about whether we met our project goals and objectives. All of this information feeds into a final report or presentation for the steering committee. A project celebration is important for letting every team member know how we did and a nice way to share in our success, as well as get invigorated for the next project. Files get archived and all handoffs are completed, and the final activity is to sign off with the project sponsor. Let's walk through an example. One spring day, Terry asked, "I wonder if there's a way for us to help our SDCOE employees make better use of ServiceNow. What can be done?" This was the initiation phase of a new project. Perry and Flora did some brainstorming, then they started working on a project charter. They outlined their initiative called the ServiceNow Education for SDCOE Employees Project. They documented everything they could think of. They listed everyone involved, the project description, scope, success criteria, goals, deliverables, risks, the project schedule, and the tools that would be used. Perry met with Terry to make sure everything documented matched what he was trying to achieve. Terry authorized the project charter. Perry then set up a shared space in the existing EPMO SharePoint. This was a place everyone could find and store files related to the project. Perry set up a new group in Monday.com to manage the activities. Perry and Flora asked Tyler and Candace to join the project team and formalize the start of the project with the kickoff meeting. They reviewed the elements from the project charter and determined immediate next steps. They decided that they would use a Teams group chat to stay in touch during the week and that they'd get together every Tuesday morning for a short status meeting. The small group of 4 served as the core project team and knew which tasks needed to be completed. Now the project was in execution phase. Each week they'd follow what was in Monday.com because it housed all of their tasks and due dates. If new unforeseen tasks popped up, they'd add it to Monday.com. They met each Tuesday for their weekly status meeting. Perry used this information to write a weekly status report of what was accomplished, what was in progress, and looked for any risks that might impact the quality of their project. Perry emailed the status report to the steering committee and project team members to keep them informed of the progress being made. The project team involved the stakeholders, our fellow SDCOE employees, throughout the process, not just at the end of the project. Early on, the project team identified a subset of ServiceNow users at SDCOE and gathered important feedback from them that helped inform the project. The stakeholder input was also taken to the steering committee for consideration. The final deliverables for this project were a new job aid, an instructional video, a recorded training session, a variety of communications, a new script used internally by the Computer Support Services team, and a couple of enhancements to ServiceNow. Communications was an important part of the project. The project team engaged with the communications department to post blurbs about the project in the weekly email newsletter, write a fun article for the staff monthly newsletter, and to place a banner ad on Common Ground. During the closure phase, the project team first held a lessons learned meeting to identify what went well, where they could have improved, and what they were proud of. They conducted a stakeholder survey to measure how they did, and based the survey on the objectives and success criteria they had listed in the project charter. After receiving the survey results, they compiled the information and interpreted the results. The project team created a final presentation that contained a project recap, the summary of the lessons learned, and survey results, as well as any last steps. Perry presented the final presentation to the steering committee. Last, there was a short celebration meeting. The theme was Blue Ribbon, and every person involved in the project was invited to hear about the success of the project. There was also time for acknowledgments. The celebration officially signified the end of the project. At the end, Perry used the project closeout checklist to make sure that all the final steps were completed to successfully close the project. This is the EPMO's streamlined approach to project management. The EPMO has created a toolkit with templates, job aids, and samples to help you. We hope you are able to easily learn and integrate these tools into your practice. Please email epmo@sdcoe.net if you have any questions or suggestions. Thank you.